Guys, the last month in crypto has been insane. I was looking at the bubbles this morning and be like, wow, these are 40, 50% pullbacks. This market has been quite brutal. But very important thing to understand right now is again, your biggest investment opportunities in this market don't come too often, right? And I want to speak about this in today's show as well, because I want to remind you that this volatility is something that you can use to your advantage. Now, the thing that caught us all off of guard, right, was basically this big bull run prediction, right? Was basically we were just going to go parabolic. And what that did is it basically made us stop looking at the opportunities that were in front of us and kind of just painted one scenario out, which we had the right to do. The market has done this over the last, 12 years, the last three bull cycles. We've seen the same thing happen. This time, however, the market has gone off of course. And all of a sudden, now we're all sitting here asking, are we even in a bull market, firstly? And when the hell is it going to come? What's happening? So I want to speak about my projections of this year. And I want to point out Bitcoin and altcoins itself. Okay, what do I think is going to happen? But nonetheless, the big important part of today's show is to understand that we've been missing a big opportunity. We've been missing a very big opportunity of understanding this market is ranging in a very high range. Okay, and there are 200 to 300% trades that are happening in front of our eyes every 3 months. But because we focused on only one way, okay, we kind of hold these positions all the way through. So today I want to show you how Solana is in an entry for 180% trade, how ETH is in an area for 100% trade, how there are some gaming tokens that are sitting in 200% ranges. Okay, how the chain links and AVAXs and the Dogecoins, how there is trades and entries that are here right now. And what we're going to do today is today we're going to have a vision and we're going to have a goal. We're going to say, hey, this is what we want the market to kind of do and what we see. But what we're also going to do is we are going to prepare ourselves to trade this market however it wants to play for this year. If you want to continue doing what it's doing right now, we're going to play that game. Because when you have volatility within markets and you have tokens moving in big ranges, these are huge opportunities, especially when you catch the bottoms and you start offloading into the tops, right? But we keep looking for that lotto, that one trade, that one parabolic run. I think it's crazy. I think you still have a potential of 10xing your accounts this year in 2025 without a bull market. And I want to make sure that we are thinking clearly. What this market has done to me in this last couple of months is it made me sober. It made me look and really rethink things again and look at my damn portfolio, look at crypto as a whole, and start to think more responsibility. Start to think more responsible. Okay, so today's show, I'm zooming out again. I'll give you guys some short-term analysis as well. But I know that there is at least 10 trades that can give you up to 200% gains now over the next 3 months. Okay, it is time to build your way back. It's time to be sober, and it's time to trade the market as it is. Let's go.
I try and help everyone in my space, and this is what I get. I try and fight the devils, but inside I'm just like sniper. Welcome to Shell the Show.
At the Van Brand's channel, hit the subscribe button, guys. Okay, so again, what has happened last couple of months? Got super excited. Okay, first crypto president comes to the doors. We had all rights to say, hey, this market's going to go crazy. Now, again, we can't deny that Bitcoin's done well. The fact that Bitcoin's still sitting in the 80,000s is good, right? The fact that we've had stock markets pulling back, there's a lot of things going on in the world. Bitcoin's holding really good. And the only thing that has not happened yet is we haven't had the diversification of Bitcoin into altcoins. That still has to come at some part within the cycle. Okay. But all they're doing now is kind of a waiting game, right? It's kind of just taking longer than expected. So the big change that is happening this cycle that has not happened previously, okay, is the time. The time has changed of when things are sort of happening. But when you look at things as a whole, everything is still kind of doing what it's always done before. The cycle always starts with Bitcoin, right? And it's crazy how long this Bitcoin cycle has actually become now. Okay, usually it would come for a certain while and then get distributed, but we have not had an ETH run. We've not even had a real altcoin run. We've had a few opportunities and we've had a few heartbeats, may you call it. 3 months ago, we had a heartbeat. It just showed that when the dominance came down 5%, your altcoins tripled in value. 5%. right? So what we are busy with here is we know that there's a 30 to 40 to 50% dominance collapse that happens at some point in the cycle. And the only thing that has shifted here is the time frames have shifted. I always knew that they were going to do something different this cycle because every cycle they do something different. Where if you look at 2017, we had the blow off and then we had the secondary lower high and then the market went into bear. Where you look at the 2021, the same timing was the same. The only difference was when we had the first blow off, the second one went a little bit higher, which basically got everyone to say, hey, we're not done with the top. There's no lower highs. We're going up. And they made a higher high, and from there went into bear. So between those two cycles, all that was shifted was the pattern, right? That played out. Now this cycle, what you're seeing now is you're basically seeing the time has changed. So now we're in that uncharted territory where the time has changed and we're not on this 4 year sort of cycle thing to the T anymore. Okay, it started to shift. And why? A lot more big money, a lot more bigger players, and I think a lot more accumulation. I think we are in a Bitcoin accumulation zone. This is why why we're so much in Bitcoin phase, because I think we're in accumulation as well as I think we are in ETH accumulation and Solana accumulation. And a lot of major, good, high quality altcoins are accumulating stages where I think they're being accumulated in the times when you're basically getting flushed out, right? And losing interest. They're just getting bought up and bought up and bought up and bought up. And then you'll get to the phase where it will be distributed. And the main reason for an alt season is to bring in a lot of money into crypto that is outside of institutional money. And that's how institutions can take profits, right? By bringing in, remember, when the markets are in these type of phases, you're sitting with 20, 30% of people in crypto. When it goes up 300%, you got about 5 times more people coming into crypto. So you'll see wallets that are being used, 1 million users per day, they'll go up to 10 million users per day when it comes into the bull. And what that creates is a lot more smaller wallets, but a lot more people. And that creates exit liquidity, creates volume, right? So it's important for us to understand. So going back here now, my big realization, okay, is I've turned neutral now. I have the back of my mind that there is a alt season and there's a bull market, right? I have that in the back of my mind. Why? Because if you always have at least a plan for it, you could play the plan when it plays out. If you remove all options from your brain, okay, or from your strategies at all, you're kind of going to miss them, right? Because let's not do what we just did. What we just did was all bull, just full bull run, right? We can't sit here and say, hey, there's no bull run now. Okay, because what you're doing is the same thing in opposites. You're basically saying it's going to go one way, and then when it does happen, you're not going to be prepared for it, and you're not going to catch off guard, and you're kind of going to make a lot of mistakes. So there is a bull market scenario and a plan that is sitting in over there, and I'm going to show you guys what I see that being within this year. I took the stocks into consideration as well to look at where the stock markets are at. I look at the Bitcoin chart, okay, but overall, what I did is I got back to a sober state, and it made me realize that I'm here to make money. I'm here to focus on making money, okay, where the love for my crypto is kind of put to the side. I love one token, and that's Bitcoin. That's one that I really, really, really believe in. And that's what I want to build wealth in, okay, is in Bitcoin, okay? But what I need to focus again is money. And in order to do that, I need to make sure I have a full roadmap within this. So let's start the first scenario. First step is let's go through Bitcoin quickly on the weekly. Let me show you my scenario of what I think. And then I'm going to show you the realistic targets behind that and how I plan on 10xing to 20xing my accounts this year. Okay, and the tokens that I'm doing it, and I'm going to show you a very simple method that's going to help you understand. Now, reminder, this is non-leverage. None of that in. Why? Because the leverage comes and goes. Every 2 months, I have a great streak. Then I go 2 months of crappy streaks. Okay. And I kind of give return. And as long as I'm spending the money when I'm making it, then leverage is powerful. If I'm not spending the money, I kind of just give it back. Right. So leverage is this game. But what I really realized is, this market firstly sucks on leverage. It destroys leverage positions. And, if you don't have your money in the right places, it kind of, I don't want to fight a losing war anymore. Where the real money is to be made is in the spot and long-term trades as well, right? But they need to be sold, okay? Not just hodl, right? There's no point going rich and then back to poor. But it's the higher time frame swings and the non-leveraged positions where you can really make a lot of money over a year to 2 years, right? And again, this market may go full bull. Remember, all these tokens are half the price of what they were when Bitcoin was at $60,000 last cycle. Now Bitcoin's at 80,000. These tokens are undervalued. Okay, and when the dominance does pull back, these tokens are all going to get back to value. Okay, and then they'll go back down again into the bear after that again as well. So let's start off first. So the way I looked at it, I always like to have a basic plan. Okay, and just a little bit of understanding of what I think the market is going to do off of my analysis. So here's my analysis and what I think the market is going to do. Right, so let's go here and let's go. The first thing I want to look at quickly is the stock market. This is my plan on the stock market. I think the stock market is in deep trouble in the next 12 to 18 months. And that's my opinion, right? And also the chart wise as well. When I zoom out and I look at this chart, I'm like, this is such a bad manipulated chart. It's disgusting, actually, right? If I look at that, I'm like, this all the way since that banking collapse or that big stock market crash that happened in 2008, right, has only but just been fake after that, right? We've seen that in this time, the amount of money that has been printed, right, the amount of money that has come in, we've just, I think it's something like, I don't know, 3 or 5 times more money is in circulation just in the last 20 years or something. Okay, so the money printers have been gone, and what that basically means here, and I'm explaining this today because I need you to have conviction for why the hell you're in crypto, right? This is fake, this is terrible, this is horrible, and this is gonna pop, right? And if we're not prepared for this, remember, you know what's nice about crypto is it's preparing you, right? So one day when the stock markets come down 60%, you're like, that's a Tuesday in crypto, right? Crypto is gonna make you very strong, where the rest of the world are gonna, it's gonna go crazy when that basically happens over there as well. But this for me is manipulated, right? It's basically money printers on, every dip was bought up. Okay, and I think there's a bigger crash coming. I don't think yet though. I think we are not too far in the next 12 months or so. I still see a blow off top, and then I see a massive pop to the downside. So this is what my stock market views look like. I use a basic amount of indicators as well. I use the RSIs, I use the trends. It's still in its bull trend. We're getting to this lower point now of the RSI being at the bottom, and I'm still seeing quite a strong higher low at this point. So what I see happening over the next few weeks is I see the stock market start pushing up. Okay, and I actually start seeing them push up into the areas of June. I also know that there's the summer vacays and go away in May and these type of things that are happening as well. So what I see now is basically stock market's low starts to enter within this month. Within April, May, we start to rally up. Within the June, July, September area, we start to chop a little bit. Okay, and then end of the year, we blow off kind of top. And then Q1, Q2 next year, maybe even Q4 this year, we shall see. Okay, track. I do see a up to a 30, 40, 50% collapse coming. This is my views, and this is what I'm preparing for. This is why it is vital for me this year to focus on making money and not just being right. I think that's a very important lesson for me to focus within this year. Is just make sure that you are prepared. Okay, and I'm putting that scary drop over there in there to make sure that I'm really focused on the profit taking and the wealth that I'm keeping. Okay, we all know how to make money, how much money we're going to keep, and we've just seen how brutal the market gets when it takes money from you, how quickly it can actually take it, right? So for me, I am painting the worst scenario, and I am really taking it serious when it comes to, pay attention to the trades you're taking, pay attention to your risk, pay attention to these things. So this is what I see: they push up sideways, strong finish to the year, and next year, early next year, Q1, Q2, I see a very big drop. Okay, but good news from it all is it will rebalance the world, is the way I say it, right? The financial system needs a rebalance. In order to get a rebalance, it kind of had one here when the COVID crash happened. Again, that allows to grow again for a couple of years. Okay, and that's kind of what needs to happen again, right? Is basically a very strong collapse that comes down, and then we start moving and we start making our way up again over there as well. But a very big world flush out is needed. And if you just look at that, it could be bigger, it could be quite ugly, right? It could be quite big. We need realization checks. There's a lot going on within the world. And I honestly think, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I think there is, we speak about these wars, right, that are going. I just think that there's going to be a very big financial war that's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of financial war that's going to happen. It's going to get ugly for a little while. And then those that are like us that can actually have money in wallets and have the skill to trade, we're going to bounce back quicker than the rest of the world, because the rest of the world are going to go into this place of a lot has happened in a very short period of time, and the rebuild's going to take a couple of years, where we could be back running strong in a couple of months. We could be using this as the biggest advantages of our life, right? When I tell you that I see that crash happening, I actually tend on supporting fiat in that time, right? I tend on actually having 50% of my money in fiat, in dollars for that time, because the whole world's going to go on special, and that's when I want to have a part of that panic, and I want to be able to buy real assets as well outside of crypto as well, which is very important. So I'm putting you into my mind to show you guys exactly where I'm at the moment and what I'm thinking. So again, that's what I see over there. Crypto is kind of similar to what I see on the Bitcoin chart over here. Okay, just more volatile, right? So this is kind of my views here. Now, again, this market actually might get more aggressive than what I think, but I'm going to go with this scenario. I'm going to go that Bitcoin doesn't break all-time highs, in the next 6 months. And I'm going to go through that little view first, which basically means all we're looking for now, we're waiting to see if we're going to go to 73 or not, right? That's why the market's kind of hovering out here at this point. Okay. And so I do have this little scenario where there's another little dip off into the zone here. That'll kind of be the last shakeout for me until we start moving up again. RSI is flatline, ready to start going up. Okay, again, we're not promised this little dip off here. So this from here could actually start moving its way up from here too. But nonetheless, what I'm seeing is I do see us pushing up strong into the May, June areas. Okay, I got the areas where we get close to the all-time highs. Then what happens is Bitcoin goes choppiness in that time, okay, of the May, June, July, September sort of areas. Okay, and in that August areas, in that area over there is the chop. And then I do see a very strong finish to the year. And this would be a scenario that Bitcoin basically taps out between 150 and 180. And that's kind of the cycle done. And then we go into that big drop, that happens Q1, Q2. Maybe again, if this happens sooner, if we blink and in 2 months' time, Bitcoin is at 145K, December might even, end of the year might even be the bigger drop as well. So it all depends how fast we speed up, but this is the play. The play is here. So all that I see right now is I'm not super focused on this over here. I'm quite focused on, hey, how much money can I make here, right? Then I know I need to bank and be ready for here. So instead of looking at this one big move to the upside, I'm like, hey, what can I do now and prepare here to make this money, then to prepare myself for this stage, and then to make that money over there as well. Okay, but that's the trajectory. That's what I see on the dominance. I am still very certain that the dominance is going to collapse this year. Okay, this for me is looking like the stock market chart where it's just manipulated and just up, 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 up. So again, what I see in this next little while is I do see this dominance trickling a little bit sideways, but I do see that in this area before this June, I think we see the first leg of an alt run, a real alt run, right? A real altcoin pump. And what that altcoin pump does is it basically just takes us back. It basically removes just the damage that was done, right? So there we go. The first altcoin pump, we rally up to the highs over here. Okay, all the alts where they were a couple of months ago are back at those areas again. Okay, we then go into holiday season, and then we go parabolic with Bitcoin into Q4. Right, that's kind of my views over there. And when it looks to Bitcoin dominance, that's what I see: a drop, holiday season, and alt season. Boom, finish the year strong, finish everything massive. Total 3 breaks out, and we finally get that alt rally that we've been seeing. This is the plan. Okay, and this is exactly what I'm seeing and how I'm doing. Now, again, all that I'm focused on is I have the plan. Now, what my goal is, break the plan into steps. Okay, and I teach you guys something, and I want to show you guys this for a second over here, just before I jump into the next thing. I want to bring this across here. Let's see if you can see it. Right, there we go. The main thing is, like, I teach this in school and stuff, but I just want to show you this very quickly. Business structure is very important. When you have money, it's very important to have purpose behind your money, and then it's important to create it into a business. By doing that, you know what the money's there for. You know, if you have that $500 in your account, what you're actually trading for. Okay, you're actually creating a purpose behind it, and you're creating a little business behind it. So you have a little bit of structure and a little bit of, consistency and discipline and all these type of things. But the very important thing is the roadmap, right? So for example, again, I always use the scenario of buying a car, right? I don't have $25,000 right now as an example. Okay, I got $1,000, but I'm gonna put this $1,000 into account and trade it for a car, right? So that I can go buy a car cash, and when I buy that car cash, I traded it from $1,000. So a 25K car will cost me $1,000. But what is very important to understand here, and I just want to show you here quickly, okay, is once you've got the 1,000 to 25,000, you know the target, right? Then you just break it into the steps, right? 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, and basically 5 steps, and I get my goal. And all I do then is I focus on one step at a time. So it's the same thing here. I have my goal, I have where I want to go, but let's break this thing into steps. Let's break it in. Hey, there's a rally to come now this week, then there's a stronger rally to come, then there's a drop out, then there's a strong area. Let's break it out to these areas over here as well. Okay, and what I'd also suggest is look at, not even suggest, never financial advice here. This is just my journey that you see on my shows every day, right? You see me trades, and when I'm trading these things, right? And I'm doing this type of, you seeing my journey that is playing out all the time. But I'm always going to give you the ideas of what I'm thinking over here too. You look at your damn account today, okay? And firstly, hit the like button now if 10xing your account would be amazing, right? Would that get you back on track and get you moving? That'll be great, right? So hit the like up. Let me see what that blows. Now, in order to do that, if you were $10,000 today, you want to get to 100. Sure. Okay, let's focus on the 20, right? Let's slow down now and not just think about this big goal anymore that's going to happen in one trade. Let's think about, hey, let's double this thing, right? So the first thing that I teach you is once you double it, okay, let's bring this up over here again. There we go. Okay, once you double it, okay, if you want to double it, what you are looking for is this. Let's just bring this up again. There we go. Okay. I'm going to bring this in here. You're looking at 3 pillars. The first thing is the purpose behind it, the roadmap, the step-for-step. Great. Okay, cool. Now you know your first step is from $10,000 to $20,000. The next thing that's very important is choose a time frame and a token, right? What tokens are you going to make this money on? Because if you're going to go and just buy, and I realized this the other day, my way that I was thinking to make money, buy 200 tokens, Sheldon. Split your money from about 200 tokens, right? And yes, on theory, that's good in an alt season. It's great. But when it comes to real money management, like, is that a smart decision? Not really, right? The smart decision is to find the right 1, 2, 3 tokens, okay, that match your strategy and get really good at those 3 tokens. Simple. Why? Because you're not in love. Are you here to fall in love with Solana because you really believe in it? That you want to tattoo it on your body and you think it's going to change the world? Okay? Or do you want to make money? Like, that's the question. Well, I want to make money. So then what the hell are we doing by buying thousands of tokens other than actually, unless that token is aligning with the plan, then you trade as many of them as not. They're aligning with everything. So when I show here, I say token time frame, token choice, and direction of the market. So the first thing I ask myself is, Sheldon, what is step 1? Step 1 is $10,000 to $20,000. So that means I need 100% trade. That's what I'm looking for, right? Which token offers me that and what time frame offers me that? Okay, and I teach you this thing of time frames. I say, guys, did you even know that all those time frames you see on your charts every day, that they actually give you different data? Did you know that? Right? Did you know that the weekly gives you data if you want to trade for a 3-month trade, right? The daily if you want to trade for 30 to 60-day trade, the 12-hour for 14-day trade, the 8-hour for 8 days. So don't look at these time frames if it's not matching your strategy, right? But let me show you guys what this looks like. And this is very important. Okay, I want you to understand this. Look at Bitcoin at this point. I want a very simple technique here. And the technique works like this, right? You see the stochastic RSI. You see it hovers at the bottom and hovers at the top. Very simple. When it hovers at the bottom, it's oversold. When it hovers at the top, it's overbought, right? Meaning that the right emotions are playing out. There's a lot of fear when Bitcoin's at these levels, and there's a lot of euphoria and excitement when Bitcoin's at these levels over here. Okay, so by just waiting for the RSI to get to the bottom, you're buying the right fears automatically. That's why I kind of got to love it, right? But I want you to understand this, that if you are here just to make money, okay, go do me a favor. Look, draw green boxes at the bottom here when it was below 10% and draw red box at the top. And I want you to just take a line like this. Okay, let me just show you here, because this is going to help you so much. From the bottom to where it went to the top. Right? To the bottom, to where to the top, to the bottom. Again, below 10% and above 90% over here. And what you'll see is if you mark it out, is you'll see this, right? You mark it out perfectly in the chart. I want you to take a ruler, okay? And I want you to just go measure the moves here. Don't get the exact bottom. Get a little bit on the top, a little bit over there. It's not about the top and bottom, right? And you will see right now that on the weekly time frame on Bitcoin alone, which means you will buy, you will hold for 3 months, you will sell, you will sit in cash for 3 months, you will buy, and you do this twice, okay? And both, you can see that Bitcoin is currently moving 100% every time, okay? So it's moving 100%, 100%, which means that if you just wanted to double your money this year or triple your money this year, you buy Bitcoin when it's oversold here, Okay. And again, in school, I teach you trend lines and a lot of things to help you get the exact entries if you want to get them. But nonetheless, as an investor, you buy it when it's here. When it gets to the top, you offload. Okay. You do it twice in the next year and you've tripled your money. Okay. You do that again for another 3 times. And in 2 years, you have 10 extra accounts, right? That's on Bitcoin, not even altcoins. Okay. So it's understanding that Bitcoin right now is moving 100% to the upside. That's what the legs look like. Now, let me show you guys, and let's go through the alts here because it's very important. Look at ETH, and I want you to do something very simple. Here's ETH right now, right? Love it, hate it, doesn't matter. It is volatile. Do you see all these moves here? This is money to be made. Go look at the last 4 times. This is the 5th time now. That ETH has been below this 10%. You see on the right here, you see the percentages. 10%, guys, below the 10, above the 90. Okay, go look at the last times. I marked them on the chart there. One. Let me just move so you can see it. There we go. You see it? You see it? You see it? You see it? Okay, now next thing again. What do? Take ruler here. That one was bigger. That was a great one. Here, 57. Okay, and what you do is you take the last 4 times. And what you'll see here is you take that 4 times, you add them all in a calculator and divide it by 4. And what you'll see is ETH is around about a 95 to 100% radius on the weekly time frame. Okay, which means every time this RSI is at the bottom and it does a full rotation to the top, ETH goes up 100%, and it's done it the last 4 times, right? In a row over here as well. Okay, so that means alone, okay, what was my first step? 10K to 20K. Okay, this token offers it to me on the weekly. It does, however, mean that I'm going to buy and hold for 3 months and then sell and then hold cash for 3 months. But do that 3, 4, 5 times, okay, and you've made a ton of money. Okay, so understanding that that's what ETH is an opportunity right now for 100% entry. Let's go look at Solana. There is Sol. The last 4 times that it was sitting at the bottom over there. You go see the percentages. Sol is in 100 to 150% trading range at the moment, which means the entries you're getting at $100 now is preparing you for a push to $200. Okay, and that is 100% double your money trade. Okay, and again, if you look at the time frames, here is September. It was at the top in November. 2 months to the upside, you took profits. You then sat from December all the way to February, end of Feb, 2.5 months. You got back in. Okay, you can get good at making money, guys. Go through the tokens here. Look at the opportunity. This is what Cardano is in. Cardano is in a 200% trading range at the moment. Here is the bottom, that 132% the first time. Second one, 250, 275%, and now it's straight back in those zones again. I'm getting ready for that push over there. This is in 100 to 200% range. It's in the zone now on the weekly. Now imagine, guys, you got good at trading these 3 tokens as an example only on the weekly time frame, and you just focus on this for the next 2 years. And you kept focus on just tokens and making money. You are going to make a lot of money because you are not falling in love with, ooh, AI agents, ooh, meme coins, ooh, this. You're distracted. Stop being distracted. Unless you love the game. If you love the game and you're fundamentalist, go for it. But if you are here to make money, focus on the game. Let's scroll through these quickly over here and give you an idea. Chainlink is in a 100 to 150% trading range. Dogecoin is in up 150% trading range. Algo is up to a 200% trading range right now. Opportunities. Let me show you gaming. I'm busy buying gaming at this point, right? Gala Games is in a 300%. It's a 200 to a 300% trading range. Look at Gala here. Who's been waiting for gaming to pop? Me, I've been waiting, right? But I've been holding, not realizing that these things are moving 200%, right? I've been holding like a chop. Look at this. Bottom to top, 200%. Thank you. Sit on money. Wait for it to come all the way back down. Get back in. Make your 200%. Sit on money, right? Look at this. It is literally every time this thing has been at the bottom, we have seen these 200% moves coming in and out after each other. Boom, 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 boom. If you traded this for the last year, you'd be 10x your count. But instead, I'm holding, right? Instead, I'm just holding these positions. So Gala is in that position when it comes to these type of trades. Now, again, guys, what's also very important is to say, because I know automatically everyone's going to be like, ooh, out of all the circuit shoulders spoke about, Gala is the best, right? Gala is also the most volatile. Okay, so have respect for your money, right? So the way I would do it is if I had 10K and let's say I chose 3 trades now, I'd probably put majority in Solana and ETH, and then the 20% or 25% will go into Gala. Okay, I'm not just thinking I'm going to take all my money and go into the one that's giving me the absolute bit. Why? Because the volume is a little bit lower, right? It's a little bit more volatile. It's a little bit more these type of plays. So it's here, but always just be responsible, right? And think clearly for yourself over here as well. So here, yes, Gala is a big opportunity as investors, as traders now. And remember, guys, I'm not saying that only just trade 3 tokens and that's the way to do it. I'm saying if you're in 20 tokens right now and you are not selling when the weekly stocks are hitting the bottom, you're kind of just hodling your way through and making money in and out. So if you want to manage 20, that's fine, but it kind of makes sense that we start taking profits on the weekly stocks at the top and buying back, understanding that, hey, these coins might range for the next 2 years. It might not go parabolic, right? And if you're afraid that it is going to go parabolic and you're going to miss it, then you just change your technique slightly. And that means put a trend line at the bottom, which means that when it's going up and you're only going to sell on the trend line, that's fine. You might lose a little bit less and you're still making profit. You might, instead of 200%, you make 120%. Okay, but if it keeps going, you'll catch the entire wave. Okay, do you see when you start removing the noise and removing the mess, you start to see things simpler and you can start getting better at simpler ways. There's Gala Games. I want to remind you, gaming is in great trading areas. Here is Super Farm. Let me show you the last 3 moves. 1,500% the first one, the second one, 500%. Right, and now we're at the third one, which can equivalent to a 400% move. This token is in a 300 to 500% trading radius when the stocks are at the bottom. And you know what? It's doing the same thing. It drops, goes sideways here, goes up, drops, goes sideways here, goes up. Do you see how long we're going sideways here? Opportunity. Okay, Nakamoto Games. There's Nakamoto Games in a 200% radius at this point. I got another one here, MLC, one of the partners of the channel. Incredible. Right? What they're doing is amazing. Planting trees, doing amazing things around the damn world. Shout out to them. They just launched on a couple of centralized exchanges as well. Okay. This one I'm accumulating. You can see this one is sitting in this massive channel over here at the bottom. Why? Because look at the damn range this thing is in. Right? 300% move range at this point. Now 60 to 70% pullback. RSI flatline at the bottom. So what I'm trying to say is there's opportunity within all of these tokens. But unless you have that purpose, structure, model, that full understanding, we're kind of going to rotate and just have it in your back of your mind. This market may stay like this for the next 5 years. Okay. Think of it in 2 ways. The first one is this market's going to range for 5 years. So I'm going to trade the 200% range and I'm going to keep just doubling and tripling my money and making tons of wealth over the next 2 years. Back of your head, this market may go parabolic at any point. Make sure you are also prepared for that. Set yourselves up for success in the next pump. Set yourselves up for success if this market wants to go sideways, up, or down, right? I think the downwards is coming near the end, right? But nonetheless, it may chop, go range, all these type of things. Know that this market is volatile, and volatility equals opportunity, and it equals big gains, to be honest. I think if we all sold the last top and we're buying this bottom, we're making a ton of money. But this one way thing, it's kind of got to move. Be like water, move with the damn market, right? Love you lots. Thank you so much for watching. Hit the like button, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Goodbye.